What's going on, guys? It's your boy Peter, and I'm back again with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about some factors to consider before choosing your school to become an aircraft maintenance engineer. This video is going to be mostly focused on international students, so those are people that are trying to come to Canada to take an education to become an aircraft maintenance engineer. And one of the reasons why I'm focusing more on international students, because there's a lot of factors, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of regulation an international student got to consider compared to someone who is Canadian or someone who has their permanent residence. Number one factor to consider before choosing your province to study as an aircraft maintenance engineer is the province of preference. So I'm talking about if you are that type of person that like a lot of population, you like provinces where there's a lot of people, there's a lot of social life, there's a lot of events, there's a lot of nightlife. You want to go to provinces whereby it has a lot of large population. So I'm talking about Ontario. You got Toronto, you have Mississauga, you have Brampton, you have Ottawa. You often want to go to provinces like Quebec. You got Montreal. You want to go to provinces like BC. You got Vancouver, because those provinces and those cities, they have large population. And actually that was one of the reasons why I went to Ontario, because not only because I knew someone in Ontario, because it's way more easy staying with someone for like your first couple months, but I also wanted to stay in a province whereby there was a lot of population. No, because I always tell you guys, right, I was more of an introvert person, and being an introvert person, you don't want to stay in the quiet, small town city, so I wanted to stay in a province. I wanted to stay in a city whereby there was a lot of people, and that was like 10 years ago, so that was one of the reasons why I chose Ontario. I chose Toronto, to be specific, as my province. So if you're that type of person that have that same mindset, you want to go to those bigger cities, because those bigger cities can actually offer you what you're looking for. But if you're more of a more reserved person, you don't like a lot of people, you want to go to provinces like Alberta, for example. You got Calgary, you want to go to Winnipeg, Regina. Those provinces are pretty good for accommodating people that are more of a more reserved person, and especially for people that have families. You want to go to provinces like that, because those provinces are more designed for family oriented. Number two factor to consider is province that is affordable. As an international student coming here to Canada, you are paying a lot of money, especially for tuition, and not to talk about the convert rate. I remember when I came here 10 years ago, right? 11 years ago right now. My tuition back then was like $12,000. I don't know what the tuition right now is, but I'm pretty sure it's way more compared to what I was paying 11 years ago. And so for you coming here as an international student, you want to lessen your expenses as small as possible, and you don't want to go to bigger city whereby the housing market is crazy. You want to go to cities that is more affordable. You don't want to go to like Toronto, whereby the average price of houses, you're talking about $2,000. When there is provinces, the city like Calgary, you can get a pretty good house, pretty good apartment for like less than $1,500 a month. Or Regina, or Winnipeg, or Halifax. Those are really nice provinces whereby you can still afford houses and still live good. And it's way more affordable for international students. So you want to do your research more. Like I'm making this video right now, I don't know what's gonna happen next 2-3 years, but you want to make sure you make your research properly and go to the province whereby it's affordable. So that way you're not only saving a lot of money on housing, so you can also have that. You can also have money to pay for your tuition, because I remember when I came here, I had a friend of mine. This guy came to Canada as an international student, right? And he had to work to pay his tuition. Not everyone has the privilege to be sponsored by their parents. Some people actually come here to work and pay their tuition. So you don't want to go to a bigger city whereby it's really expensive. So you want to go to an affordable province. And trust me, there's a lot of really great cities that are affordable, and they also have the school to study as an aircraft maintenance engineer. Number three, province that you can get a job easily as soon as you graduate. This might be a little bit tricky, and that is because in my previous point, I said you want to go to a province that it's affordable. And the backside of going to smaller provinces or smaller city is the job opportunity there. And that is the bitter truth. Provinces that have a lot of population, a lot of people, tends to have more job opportunity. So I'm talking about Toronto, for example. There's a lot of job opportunities there, especially Quebec, Montreal. Man, aviation right now in Montreal is like the peak. Like Montreal is like the base for aviation. If you're looking for a job in aviation, Montreal, Quebec is the best, man. There's a lot of job opportunity. So this is why it might get a little bit tricky, because I just said in my previous point, you want to go to provinces that are affordable, right? But if you go to small cities whereby there's not a lot of opportunity, it might be a little bit hard to get a job, and that is just the honest truth. And that's why I always recommend Montreal, Quebec specifically, especially for you guys that speak French. Montreal would be a really good base, and that is because Montreal right now, it's in a state whereby it's not really expensive. The job opportunity is really high, and also you can live pretty average. You don't live crazy. The taxes might be a little bit bad, but you can still live decently, and you can also get a job easily. You want to go to provinces like Halifax. Halifax got a couple companies. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of MRO companies growing in Halifax right now too. Calgary. Those provinces are pretty good, and they are also not less expensive. They're not as expensive like Vancouver, for example. Vancouver is ridiculously expensive, and the job opportunity in Vancouver is not as much as Quebec. You know what I'm saying? Toronto got a lot of job opportunity, but the prices you pay to live in the city might be a little bit more expensive, So you want to choose a province whereby you can get a job easily. You don't want to go to a province whereby, after graduating 5 years, you can get a job. What's the point of going to school, right? And in the next video, I'm going to tell you guys one of my strategy and something I usually tell people. So basically, right, before you choose any province, I usually tell people that it depends on your goal, right? So if your goal is to come to Canada and let's say become an aircraft maintenance engineer, and you want to settle down in Canada, because I know a lot of international students come here just get the education and they go back home. But if your goal is to actually come here, get the education and settle down here, you want to choose provinces whereby you can also get a job easily. You can also get your it's affordable, and also you can also get your permanent residence, and that is really, really important. That actually leads me to my next point. You want to choose a province whereby you can get your permanent residence, and one of the reasons why I say that is because Ontario right now, especially I'll use Ontario as an example, right? Ontario right now, it's in a population whereby it's so hard to get your permanent resident, man. The competition there is really, really high. And I have friends right now. This guy has been trying to get his permanent residence for like almost 2.5 years, and he just telling me this cost keep getting high, man. And I remember telling him, I'm like, dude, do not go to Ontario because the competition is so high. You can go to like Nova Scotia, for example. It's a pretty good one. Quebec is a pretty good one. Alberta is a good one. Winnipeg, you know what I'm saying? Those provinces, they have good opportunity, and also you can get your permanent residence. You know what I'm saying? So you want to go to a province whereby you can get your permanent residence, and once you get your permanent residence, you can actually leave that province and go to wherever province you want to live to. Because at the end of the day, some of us as international students, our goal is to come here and make Canada our home, right? You know what I'm saying? And one of the processes of making Canada your home is to get your permanent residence. So if you go to a bigger province whereby the competition is really high, you can get your permanent residence, you can get a job, it's really unaffordable. You know what I'm saying? Then what's the point? What do you gain from going to those provinces? You know what I'm saying? I really, really recommend, especially for you guys that can speak French, I would definitely right now I recommend Quebec. Quebec is like one of my favorite provinces because the job opportunity is really high here. it's affordable to an extent. Like it's really really affordable. You can get an apartment, a 1 bedroom apartment for like 1,200. You know what I'm saying? You can get a studio apartment for like $1,000. You can get one small room for like $700-800. The taxes might be a little bit high. You know, it's really high here, but it's affordable. You can get your permanent resident easily. You can get a job easily. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of opportunities here. Cities like Nova Scotia, although Halifax is getting a little bit expensive right now, but also it's also a province, a city you can actually consider. Calgary is a pretty good one. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of job opportunities right now. I believe is it De Havilland or something? There's a big company going on in Calgary right now. They are offering a lot of jobs right now. So those are the factors you want to think about before coming to Canada to become an aircraft maintenance engineer, because at the end of the day, like I said, our goal is to come here, make money, live good, and live a good life. You know, you don't want to go to a province whereby you don't want to be in a situation whereby you can't pay your bills. Now you got to go to school, you stress. You know what I'm saying? Like, we human beings, we are designed not to be stressful. You know, man, I don't like stress at all. So I'm pretty sure you guys watching this video do not like stress. You know what I'm saying? So those are the little factors I always tell people to consider before choosing your province. Like I said, my recommendation is Quebec. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of benefits here. You know, there's a lot of, the pay is good, the job opportunity is good. You know, the cost of living is not that bad. The only downside is you gotta speak French. That's the only downside. Even to get your permanent resident, you gotta speak French. But it's something you can learn within a year. You know what I'm saying? So if you're really, dedicated, you can actually learn that. You know what I'm saying? So those are the factors I usually tell people to consider. If you guys have more questions, please do not forget to drop it in the comment section. Like I said, you can also text me on Instagram at Peter Janded. That's PETERJANDED. I always do free consultation this so we can schedule a call and talk to each other. So if you guys are new to my channel, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys.